Okay, hello to everyone. My name is Ana Palchevska, and today I will be speaking about best approaches in the QA processes. But before that, I want to say a huge thank you. I will start from the end of Pancha. Huge thank you to Infinum for inviting me to the QA talks, due to I think these are very important things to be done in our community. We have a lack of this, especially in Macedonia. I think that we should get a little bit together, and this type of discussion should be happen more frequently in order to learn that what is happening in our company is actually a regular process and it's happening in every company. And sometimes some company have figured out the solution there and maybe will help us to try. So yes, thank you for doing this, and I encourage every one of you just to try, do, and to come to this kind of talks. So let's dive in. Yes, this is me. This is the title, and who am I? Shortly about me. My name is Ana Palchevska, as I said. I'm 28, almost 29 years old. I have been working as a QA engineer for almost 7 years, from which 6 years I'm at One Inside, Swiss company, small company, but yes, it's nice there, so yeah, very much enjoying this 6 year there. I love to speak in the conference. My biggest achievement, I'm maybe this promoting, but yes, the SEETEST conference in 2022. I was a speaker. It's a nice one. You should come next year. It's in Zagreb actually. So yeah, it will be a nice experience to you to hear around European subjects a little bit, and you will learn that we are not behind that much. So no worries there. About that, I have started very differently. Actually, I was a demonstrator in physics in our university, electrical and information. I have finished telecommunication. Somehow between the years, while university, I have entered as an internship in one IT company, and there I was as a quality engineer. There was someone that mentoring me. I learned that I love this job, and after I finished university, I didn't apply at all as for telecommunication jobs. So I started immediately as a quality assurance, and yeah, that's me. If you have any questions, yes, afterwards we will discuss. So let me dive in. Today I will be speaking about processes, which I do guess we don't like that much to have them, but I do think they are very necessary. So first of all, these are shortly definitions. Don't read them. If you want, you can. But do any of you have an idea how they feel when I ask what is a process? Yeah, what is a process? Okay, it's nothing. Yeah, it's okay. I will break the ice. You can read it. Of course, they are the answer. But it's nothing else but defined steps that you want to follow to reach some defined goal. It's the same in our private life. If you want to achieve something, you put some small steps in order to reach the big one. And this is what the process is by definition. I will talk about processes in our quality assurance job. So how they are implemented from the very beginning until the very end, how we can, in the very beginning, set a very nice process that will follow until the end. Is it at all that possible, first of all? But yeah, we will figure it out, and then I will discuss the distinction between the QA strategy. Usually when we talk QA processes and QA strategy, I will refer to the same, but if we talk globally, QA strategy is something that you are using as a strategy on every QA process on your company. And we will discuss, does it all this make sense? So first of all, we must agree on this page. I guess we have all seen, I am a fan of ISTQB in comparison with Pancha. So yeah, a little bit definition from my side. So we will agree that we all know this testing is a part of something that is called quality control. It's something which is a part of quality assurance. And there is a big or small distinction. When we think about testing, and we are going to speak about testing processes, we are going to speak just only about the processes which define the testing. What is testing? Test cases, test execution, reporting bugs, retesting. Finished. And that's the testing. When we talk about quality control, we will talk a little bit higher level, which will give us the test planning, how we are going to execute the testing, and we'll give the review of the testing. Again, nothing else, nothing more. But all of this will come together in the quality assurance or process, or if you want, we can call it strategy. So here we will talk about testing plus quality control, but plus something else. Where we can start. We can start from which are going to be our team members, how much time we will need, the UAT testing afterwards, which will follow, and all of these tasks or parts are part of the quality assurance process. So I will talk about all these diversity things. So QA process. If you are reading this, you will find out that this is only not a quality assurance process. This is actually a testing process, and these, all right. And here I'm missing some 3 dots above and under. But for me, this page was very important just for you to find out the difference between the development process. Usually when you are going to read ISTQB, it will always speak about quality assurance process in the part of the development process. False. Development process as a development process is process apart of the quality assurance process. This is where the developers usually is their job. We will not going to mix. I just want to, if you go to some development talk, you will talk about this, but I just want you to see the difference. Developers usually take the requirement, take the task, they do what they do in the coding, usually by design, they implement, they give to us, we report a bug, they take the bug, fix the bug, or doesn't fix the bug, they give to us, and they maintenance. That's it. If you want to learn more, we will talk with developers. So this is not our job, and here we must be very distinguished. So our process with development process is not something that we need to mix, and when we speak quality assurance process as a part of development process, we mean where the testing starts, where the quality assurance starts, but we are not mixing the two between. And now, directly to the point. This is a quality assurance process. These are the subjects that I want to have it on my project. And I will speak first from the quality assurance process, and then I will end with the testing process differences. So when we speak about quality assurance versus quality processes, actually here we can put equal. Because quality process, when we put in a documentation, we get the quality assurance strategy, because there is the documentation that will keep safe us, let's say, from whatever we do in that process. So first, where it starts? It starts with every stakeholder. You're in your company, the company, product owner, project manager, whatever you have comes to you, usually to QA lead, test manager, I don't know how you want to call it, experienced QA, let's call it that way. They call, okay, we have a new project for you. Let's make the test plan, let's make the QA strategy, how this will work out. For you, it's very important to gather all the information that you need in the very early phase, which means that you need to know the time, the budget, and of course the people, how much people. So the 3, actually, as the project management is doing that on the project overall, you're needing this information to do the QA. So they are telling you have this much time for QA, and you know immediately to ask for requirements. Okay, give me the requirements, and I will reassure you if this time is what I need. So you must start with the stakeholders. You must think the big picture, and you must do. If you're not incorporate in the early phase, when the project is starting, then you must make this very clear in your company. That if you want to have a nice quality assurance process, you must start early, as early as possible, as early as the project is in your company. The next is, of course, to gather a nice team. You have these old stakeholder things, you must gather your team. How you get to know your team is one of the punches subjects. So you get to know your team not by the metrics, but usually get to know about the team vibe or the team feelings, the spirit, and you know which one for this kind of project that you have written the requirements and the timing, you learn which team members will play the best for this kind of project. So you learn the team, you have the time, you have the schedule, it's time to do the methodology and the documentation. And then we can talk about defining the test processes. So when we go in the test processes, here is very easy. We are defining the test cases, the test executions when they start. When we have the new builds, we communicate this with developers as stakeholders, when we will get the builds, where we will get the builds, environments, type of testing that we will use. Do we use regression, smoke testing, and so on and so on. After all the testing is done, so the testing strategy here, we talk about how we can do it, improve it even better. Here we can talk if this project can stand for automation testing because the regression is taking too much time. Here we can talk about improvement in performance testing and so on. As well, we can talk about improvements in requirements because we have seen that something is missing. And in the end, we write reports, we write reviews because this is something, even if we don't want to do it, it's something that the project management system needs. So yes, that's very needed. Now, just this is something that is taken from all that page with all that steps. It's taken where is the quality control activities. The huge and the biggest difference that is between quality assurance strategy and the quality control, or even closer, the testing strategy, is that the testing strategy is focused on the product. It's focused on giving a quality product. The quality assurance strategy is focused on giving a quality process. So yes, that's the biggest difference. And the quality control versus the testing processes is that the quality control usually validates the testing process. So it's okay, we found that many bugs or that many things. Let's say this is not working, it's taking too much time. We will change the test plan, we will change the reviews, we will make more frequently reviews for every sprint, or depending on which kind of methodology you work. So quality control is somehow the control of your testing process. And the testing process, this is something that is I think should be very familiar. Usually all of us do testing and not quality assurance process. The testing process is usually the types of testing we use, most frequently functional testings, and then we do test cases, do test executions, report bugs, retest bugs, and do the test reports. Test reports are usually something that are taken from the bugs that are reported, which Pancha doesn't like them. Yes, usually that's a good point. I have a lot to say about that, but yes, just keep it on this focus. But here is very on point where, because the metrics, however, we want to or not, this is a small digression, they help us to know if our quality assurance process is good or not. If you have a lot of bugs which are minor in criticality, I mean, what we are talking about, minor bugs, we're losing time, we don't have time, we have what we are reporting even this, so just focus on the big ones. So these metrics can help, and because of that, in our test strategy, it's good to have the test reports. It's good to have the metrics where we see, oh hey, we have these bugs, that bugs, just focus on this, we have less time. So we learn to adapt the testing process ongoing due to these test reports, which are metrics. And now comparison, which I have said already, the quality assurance is focused on the process, the quality control, and the testing. You can see only this sentence is different. Actually, quality control validates the testing. But what is the most important here is to start as early as possible. And quality assurance should be assuring that we are starting as early as possible. Because usually what is happening on the projects, you will say from your experience, but usually people say that the process is already started, development is going strong, and they're coming, okay, Anna, for example, in my client, can you make me a test plan? No. There is 3 sprints already gone, and they are saying, okay, you have only 3 days. You have only 3 days for testing in this sprint. 3 days for testing 5 tasks, 7 tasks. I mean, and you're the only one. Aha, nice. Okay, give me that superpower, please, because I don't have it. So, yeah, no matter, just make sure that even if you're in this situation, there is a solution, and the solution is called communication. Communicate. I'm coming too late, because there is for sure you will miss something. And they will come to you and they will ask, Anna, but how you have missed this? I'm a human, not a robot, sorry. Even if I'm a robot, I will miss it, so yeah, it's not possible. So let's have how we create one quality assurance strategy. That are the tips. The first point is the key. You talk to people, communicate with all of your stakeholders in the very beginning. We start new project, okay, what time do we have? What is the budget plan? Is this a short, a long project, which means long, that we have a project that will be in a maintenance phase for long years with us. This means that the process is going to be slowly, will be detailed, will be more, but if it's a short project, Pancha again told about test cases. If it's a short project, I will omit test cases. Because it's a short project, I'm limited with time. I will just use the requirements and I will compare. All of this I will define in a test strategy. Because imagine that the quality assurance strategy is somehow protecting you from someone coming, oh, you only find minor bugs, oh, you didn't feel the blocker bug, oh, you have that. It's just a protection. And that protection should be updated, how the process is going on. You will figure it out, is it working or is it not working. And now, how to come. Now about the best approaches, how to come to do this quality assurance process. Okay, you have taken in consideration all of this, but I will talk about 4 phases. Actually, this is not something that I have invented. It's there on Google, you can find it, but actually it's something that I agree on. how the phases should come. So the first phase is planning. So make sure that you are considering this early phase and that you collaborate, that you identify the risk, do the risk management, do the requirements testing, and say, okay, I see the potential risk coming from here, from here, from here. And then you can start with creating your test cases and your test plans. The second phase is the execution. Actually, in the execution, it's pretty much the testing. You're starting with your testing, not to repeat myself, is the testing plan. So you're doing test cases, executions, reporting bugs, and defects. Here, the key is that you need to collaborate with your developers. You need to collaborate with your developers if you want a fast solution, and you need to collaborate with your project manager or whatever. If you're a test manager, then you collaborate with your project manager. Say, okay, it's happening too much bugs and the time estimation is wrong, so you need to fix that and to check that. So this is where you do the check. The phase, which is 3, is continuous improvements. Feedback is very important. So whatever you do, you need a constant feedback from everyone, which means by everyone, I mean your project manager, your business analyst, your designer, and everyone. If they are seeing that something is missing, that make sure that you know that and you adapt your test process and your quality assurance strategy to their, not to their need, but let's say adapt them because they are seeing something that is not there. So just make sure that you are getting all the time the needed feedback. And here you can say that the automation testing as well can be a part of improving your quality assurance strategy. In the end, communication and collaboration, maybe we can start, maybe we can end with this phase, but yes, you must be a part of, I don't know, how much of you work Scrum? It's valid, yeah. Scrum, yes, of course, agile methodology. So Scrum is one of the most famous agile methodology. I work Scrum as well. So we have dailies, retrospective, planning, reviews, kickoffs. I don't know how many meetings you want. I have introduced even one meeting that is called QA review, which review the bugs that we have in order to see the pie, how many are criticals, how many should be done, and that's on and so on and so on. But here, what is very important to prioritize the things. So it's very important that you know that if you don't have time, it's okay not to be in the planning meeting. I don't agree, but you should be. But if you don't have time, it's okay to say, okay, I will go to skip this meeting due to have too much work to do. But however, make sure that you are invited everywhere. So you cannot meet and cannot be present and sometimes, but make sure that your voice is there, that you have the QA perspective is set, and here you listen carefully what should be improved. Then, of course, the communication I already mentioned between the testing team. I didn't mention this one. Between the testing team. Actually, this is the very start of everything. So, okay, you will create a quality assurance strategy, and then what? If it's not approved, if it's not in the line with your team, then why we are speaking here about any process to be on the project. If you don't sit your team and say, how we can do it, I have something for you, but then you listen to your team say, and I don't think this is feasible for me, or that is wrong, but you adapt it. You adapt and change your process in the very early phase before even talk to your stakeholders. So this is where you should be a very well communicator. And then of course with all your stakeholders. What I want to mention is the quality. I'm near the end, but I like to mention that the quality is never a responsibility of the quality assurance team. Just for you to know. Okay, you stand up behind what you do, but the developers should stand out. It's not like, okay, developer is developing, okay, there is a quality assurance team, they will find all the bugs. No, the developers must make sure that their work is done nicely. They should test as well their work before giving to us. In order to, of course, we will be on time and more precise with doing our testing. Then, of course, the project manager, which give you the time that you give. And then, of course, the product owner and the scrum master and everyone. And then if you think that someone of these stakeholders doesn't listen to you, come and speak to them and tell them. Because in the end, the quality is not the responsibility of the quality assurance team. And of course, the teamwork does the dream work. And by team, I didn't mean only the quality assurance team, but I mean the whole team. Yes, and now the best part where I have talked everything what I have talked, and I have said everything that I have said, and how much I love processes, how much I love everything. But should we follow the processes? I mean, in the end, should we all be blind about when we speak about processes? I hate when someone says, Ana, you should do this way. Really? Let me show you that I can do it the other way and it can be better. So Just make sure that when you think about processes, you don't think about cave that you must follow. You know, people hate processes. Automation, like Pancho said, is step by step, which means automation is a process, nothing else than that. So steps, define steps, we are doing automation. And because of that, I hate it as well. So when we talk about processes, make sure that you are not talking about cave. You're just talking some bases that need to be followed that are good. But if you're saying that, okay, we start doing these steps. Oops, the step is not working. It's actually 2 steps backwards and not 1 step back up. So you change your process. You write that in the document just to have it. Like I said, project managers want to have that on paper, but you change it, you adapt it. So you have no time. You don't write test cases. You don't have time for meetings. You don't go to a meeting. Say, sorry, someone will change or I don't know, you think that the UAT testing is losing too much time and everything. You don't do that with a client, choose another person that maybe can change. I'm not a fan of that you can do it, but if you think that it's necessary, just go and try. So just try everything, and what is the goal? The work should be done. For me, for example, I don't care if you change my process, okay, Anna, sorry, I didn't. Okay, tell me something that works for you. And I'm okay for doing it that way if it gives the results. So it's about the team, how the team feels about that, and how the end result will come. The end result will come. So just be flexible here. Don't follow blindly the process. Have some basics, but yes, if you say it's not working, just kick out the process and we will make another one. It will take time. Yes, it will take time. The project manager will not like it, but it will happen. So yes, just think outside of the box when you think about processes and always try to improve them. So yes, here's some nice sentences that you will find it on Google. And yes, I like to say this. Can we keep the quality level always on maximum? I mean, I tried, and because of that, I say, if the process doesn't work, just change it. Because in the end of the day, the work should be done and the quality should be the maximum. I don't care which fault is. I don't care about metrics. I do care the representation. I do care the product that we give and the process that we follow towards. That was good, the process that we follow and the product that we did. If the process was not good, then I know that we can change it, adapt it in another way. But the product should always never suffer from this. So we should always keep the quality to the maximum level. So yeah, thank you very much. And if any questions.
If some clients who can change their requirements, do you have a plan to change their requirements in the middle of the software development? Don't you ever come?
Yes, the question is if we have a client that I guess the client is changing the environments and when, that's super tricky actually, because we don't like when something is not tested especially from testing side, and we give that to the client say, okay, we want from stage to go to test and from test to go, I guess, not to production, hopefully, if you're referring to this. But you should just, I didn't have this experience because in the very early phase, I communicate with my client and I have this meeting, which is like long one. And then I said, okay, we are doing build. And then they say, okay, but if we have some code fixes, and then they want another on another environment. And I said, then you should call me, write to me or to any testers, and then we can talk about if it's possible. I know that we want to make the client happy, and I said, okay, you want to be happy? I want you to be happy. Let me do this in order for everyone to be happy. Because it's very not pleasant if you're just juggling between the environments. Usually the process is you go test, you go stage, and then you give it to the client on stage, usually. That's the process, right? But I would say communicate in the very early phase that you are not fan of, if possible, to just changing the environment during the software development. But what we have is during every sprint actually, so 2 weeks, we test, and then we give all what we have tested on test to the client. So we are doing the same builds to them in the end, so they can check as well. So we are in parallel doing our testing and the UAT testing. So we are finishing this sprint, we are giving to him, and they find, or hopefully they don't find.
Changing requirements, I have been dealing previous experiences with that. And how I learned to deal with them is always saying, okay, we will accept the changing requirements, but do you accept the risk that, and if the deadline is the same, do you accept the risk that only the changing requirements will be tested plus what we covered so far, and nothing more than that in order to reach the deadline? Or you are going to say that no, we will need another sprint for it, and we are going to disregard those changes, or we are not going to release this future sprint.
I understand environments, not requirements.
Requirements.
Okay, no, I didn't hear it. Okay, then it's a completely different subject. Changing requirements happen every 2 weeks, actually. Agile, right? Hello. So, yeah, that's completely different answer. And now, changing requirements will happen. Actually, I like to write. So, how I protect? As a QA, while you are testing, you see bugs, but you see as well things that, as a user, you don't like. So I said, immediately, I will introduce change requirements. I will write change requirements. So they are not there in the requirements, but we will make it. We will make it, and you will have that. So when the client sees the task, he's getting the task, and see the change requirement, he even can choose, but he will pay for it. Very simple. If he wants change requirements, he will pay for it. If it's everything that is not defined, it's plus, it's a bonus. If he wants, he will pay. If he doesn't like to pay, then we will, and usually the client starts to juggle. This is a bug, this was defined, I don't know when, I don't know where. Of course the client is right, Pancho says. But yes, we will try to prolong that one until we get some money from that. Honestly, you never do anything that is not specified, especially in a limited time, for nothing. So yeah, change requirements, nice, I understand your environments, but however, there is a solution for the both words. You don't accept that easy, and should not be the quality assurance here to decide. This is the project management and the sales in game, and they are probably more clever than we are in these sales contracts, and they will know the answer. So yeah,
I have to agree here. So our let's say as QA engineers, our task is to not sign off the release. Their task or their job is to go ahead and release it.
In the end, in the end, I don't care. So, for example, I say this is critical, and comes product manager and say, no, this is minor. We should go live by any case. I say, your call in the end. I mean, it's not it's our call to give the release. I mean, in the process, I have defined. So the process is something that protects you. I don't know how to explain. So I said critical bugs. If there is critical bugs, I stand behind that. It's critical. And if in production they say, now it happens actually, I report bug, and I say, this because this is Safari, we don't have that much user, blah, blah, blah. Safari login was catastrophe. I mean, for me, I will never put it there. And I said, okay, this is a risk for me. It didn't happen 1 week after Safari, login does not work. And they enter it in the system but the QA team was not blamed. It was their decision that we are not doing it. We are just fine. So, yeah. Any other question? Yeah?
What about this situation? Do you ever had this situation? One example of one small project which was a month, and as a part of the team we have we should make deployment of the end of the month, but the product manager, but the product owner says, okay, we must cut 1 year, 1 week of project. We must make deployment 1 week earlier. So you are pushed to make ad hoc testing, etc. And
welcome to reality. That's all
we made random test cases, some automation testing, but there was a showing of a couple of bugs which made lots of problems. Somehow the presentation goes flawlessly, but there was some accent from the stakeholders. You didn't reach the time, you have a problem, but the situation was that the stakeholder made shorten the time of the testing, and afterwards there is no pleasant situation between the company and the stakeholder. What about that situation?
That's very interesting.
Just something similar about that.
Oh, many. So welcome to reality, I called it that. Welcome to the real life. I mean, like I said, I was discussing about basic processes and everything, but this is something that I am fan to do it. So it's because of that, this is how you protect yourself. So we have everything defined. The stakeholder says, yeah, I understand the situation. It happened to our case. Then you must say, okay, it's up to you. You know that with this, we don't have nicely. It's not possible. It's not feasible. That's your project management. It's not possible to have a nice until the end tested the project. And we are going to go live, okay, but it's up to you, it's your decision. So sometimes just for you to understand how the stakeholders, maybe you understand already, they think that something needs to go live no matter what. It's like a do or die situation. So these deadlines that we're speaking, that you're saying no one is dying, for a stakeholder, for the client side, everyone should die. I mean, if you don't reach the deadline. So we have a little bit of two positions there. And in my opinion, we need to respect as well that one. So if it happened, it happened, they said, okay, there is a change in the situation. Now is, for example, happening some event. Now is the perfect time, but we are not even close, like we have 1 week less. You just adapt. And you, in that case, from testing perspective, because I always like to do the job as nice as possible, we are perfectionists, you said, okay, just make sure that there are no blockers. It's possible. Yes. So just make sure that there is nothing that, for example, if you click doesn't work, that's too obvious. And you said that. From testing perspective, only this is feasible. Other than that, we are not responsible. So, and for example, limit. If you are testing in all the browsers, limit in your testing, choose one browser, choose one mobile.
You have critical bugs where you can go further.
Yes, and then you have critical bugs, and then you have different environments. You say, we said, you cut us 1 week of testing. We said that we cut off some of the browsers or mobile devices that we test. And usually they cut the quality because that's 1 week, but they maybe, that's the bounce. If they make more money to go live 1 week earlier, they don't care about the quality. It's just important to go other live. And then with hot fixes, in the next 2 weeks, they will just come, not the same level that we want, but yes, they will just bring the quality. But yes, that's the unpleasant moment between the client and a company. I agree on that. Any other question?
If I may just add on top of this.
Of course.
Yes, I said deadlines are good deadlines, but not very nice. Of course, that's a joke. I think the most important thing in that kind of situation is communication, as it was mentioned in the previous slides. Okay, we can cut off 1 week of testing, but these are the risks that you need to be willing to take. And from our side, we need to be very careful not to blindly follow a certain process, because time to market is important. Many startups, if they don't release up to a certain week, they will run out of funds. Basically, that happens, you lost your job, they lost their job. You need to be flexible and make sure that you help them reach that goal, and then with hot fixes, etc., you get to a certain quality point that you as a tester want to reach. Of course, I mean, we usually ask this question on our interviews, when does the testing stop? And stop. Yeah. But that's not realistic. This is real life. You have a fine budget, and you need to be sure to do the best you can in line with that budget. Just think about what's the name of the app? Threads.
Yeah.
Yes. It was built from ground up in 3.5 months, I think. And did it work flawlessly when they released it? Absolutely no. But did they get the effect that they needed? Yes. And in the coming weeks, they polished it up, and it works, I think. I didn't use it personally, but as far as I can see, it works quite okay, and it took quite some users from Twitter. That's the important part. Like, cut down where you can, but be sure to communicate what are the benefits, but also what are the risks.
Yeah, and be open. Actually, be open. It's nothing. I know that it's stress if someone comes to you. Okay, you have 1 week less, and you have made this process. Just the change is constant stuff. You must understand. So you must be very flexible. And I like, for example, I like when the process is as flexible as possible. I know we talk about steps that we should make, But it's very nice to just not be focusing, the process is good if it's as flexible as possible. I don't know if you understand me this, and it doesn't, I know that it's contradiction, but even, I'm a physician background, I will say, you have a law in physics. Who is the great physician? The one who just followed blindly, okay, the apple falls and this is gravity, or the one that questioned why the apple falls? So, if the question, even the process, question everything, think outside a little bit of the box, okay, you have learned that this process was great on that project and is failing on your project. Life, again, it's happening. It's very common. You didn't anticipate that some of the things, you're human. So it's just think about how to improve always and how to adapt the process. And the key here is really communication. Be open. You said this in this time, I'm saying you, there is this huge risk that this project will find a lot of blockers, even in production. I will do my best. I'm not protecting myself, so just make clear. But in the given time, this is the possibility. And actually here the matrix protects you. And here is the matrix protects you. Actually, we come to this because it's very nice. You have 2 days, you're reporting all blocker bugs. You can see, and it's nice, blocker by blocker by blocker by blocker, and they're saying we are still going live. Okay, here are the blockers that I have reported. What else can I do? So you see that I have been working from 8 to 8. I have really been keen of this. These are standing behind me. And this is where I am a fan of metrics, like I said, because sometimes they protect. Yes, they sometimes protect. But yes, just be careful with displaying because as well they can be a knife in the back. So
Yes.
yeah.
The QA team, they are first to shoot every time. Remember
Of course.
Remember what happened with the cyber vehicle of Elon Musk when they blow the glass with a metal ball?
Yeah.
Everybody blames the QA team, the
Because he
control
did.
team, the quality team.
Yeah, but in the end of the day, that's why I like our job. The responsibility that it comes to that. I have actually one article written already. It's out. And we should finish with this. I have written one article. We can discuss afterwards. It's how to make it before we break it, actually. And that's when I said, okay, I start my article with bugs in production, and when all of them are pointing to us, like a quality assurance team, and how we can protect when already in production is happening. But why I love the processes. Because learn from experience. Let's try to protect ourselves before this crash comes. And let's make blockers not happen. I think that this is our responsibility, and this is, if blockers is found in production, it's our fault. Or actually, I will take the blame. Just let's make that blockers are not happening, criticals rarely, and the other stuff, bring on us. It's fine, they shoot with that. So yeah, that's important stuff. Okay, we are finishing here. If any questions, I'm here. We will have more time, like we have one more speaker, not finishing, just saying. But we have more time afterwards. We can discuss about the subject privately, or you can write to me, ask me. I'm very open to discuss, as you can see. Thank you.